PG channel. Robert Kesakos is your usual suspect. Welcome back to yet another live broadcast on your favorite football updates channel. It's a pleasure to be back here on this beautiful Wednesday night / evening that I do come to you live from the world of, from Kampala, Uganda, to once again discuss the latest that there is from the world of football. I'm sorry, I'm late, particularly because of bad internet. Bad internet is where I'm late. It's been a bit of a slow day, to say the least. Hi LFC, good to have you back. So the reason as why I'm late is strictly because of internet. It's just slow. It's just can't stay long, tired, early again. Oh, how are you recovering, mate? LFC, how are you recovering? Yesterday, you checked on us, real quickly, and you are going to bed early because of illness. How are you recovering? Well, how is that? So, anyways, like I said, it's been a bit of a long day to say the least. It's been one where work has been slow. I literally didn't have power for the better part of the day, and when power was back, internet has been so poor that you can hardly do anything with it. I've had to resort to other measures to even get to this broadcast, and I'm hoping that we can have a small chat for whatever short period of time it will be. It won't be long. That's the honest bit. It won't be long, given the circumstances. As I look to, I've already reached out to my ISP to resolve the issue, but since 5 p.m. They're still troubleshooting. Apparently, they're still trying to address the issue to no successful effort. So I don't know. Perhaps tomorrow will be better, but that's the situation on my side in regards to the broadcast today. So LFC says I'm still not feeling good. We completely understand, but we continue to pray for your speedy recovery and hope that you get to your feet, as soon as possible. Then quickly, also, I want to apologies. Tonight we'll be discussing what is happened on the African continent because tonight were the CAF Awards. And we've seen some success, not just of course it's a ceremony that rewards success in its own. Thank you, Robert, and good night. Thank you as well. Have a blessed night to you, to LFC. So it's a ceremony that awards African excellence in as far as football is concerned, and to say that I think from what we've observed of it is that the rightful winners have been awarded. Archraf Hakim has won the accolade for men's player of the year. We'll look at who the other nominees were. We'll look at who he's dethroned, who was the reigning holder of the same accolade. And then we'll look at the Ugandan referee, Shamim Nabanda, who was voted as the best female referee on the African continent. I think she's done really well for herself, and it's quite commendable. It's quite commendable to see these awards. I'm trying to have audios tested here on another secondary device, but so far I'm not succeeding. I'm hoping against hope that, but it's all because of the bad internet, the slow internet. Some things are just not working. So I'm going out on a limb here to think that, or to assume that probably whatever I'm saying is emanating through to you guys in the manner that I expect it to, or in the most correct way possible. But so like I said, the CAF Awards have been given out tonight, and it's safe to say, like I said, the rightful winners have won so far from the gatherings that I do have. We're going to be looking at that. Let me see if I can see CAF Awards, the awards ceremony there. A lot of celebrations are still ongoing. A lot of best women's national team is Nigeria. I mean, so many things have happened on this beautiful night to award excellence in as far as African football. Um, so really, you guys do let me know what your thoughts have been on those um, some of those winners. Okay, quickly, let's begin with the biggest accolade, and that's with the men's player up there. The ceremony itself was hosted um, in Rabat, Morocco. Even the previous edition was hosted in Morocco. That was in Marrakesh. So you can see that Morocco has taken the lion's share of hosting the CAF Awards. And in this year's men's player of the year, Archraf Hakim was competing for the accolade with Nigeria's Victor Osimhen, who plays for Galatasaray, as well as Liverpool's Mohamed Salah, but it is Archraf Hakim that is walked away with the accolade. Like I said, it's a well-deserved title for Archraf Hakim, given the milestones that he was able to hit last season. Because when you look at his numbers statistically and his overall contribution to the team as they won their first UEFA Champions League title with PSG under the charges of Luis Enrique. He was key to that. He scored 4 goals and provided 5 assists. That's a 9-goal involvement in as far as I think the UEFA Champions League was concerned. That's about what? Let me see. That's 10 plus 6 in about 17 games that he did play. So really, that's really commendable. In 17 matches, he scored 4 goals and provided 4 assists. That was at the UEFA Champions League. Then, I mean, when you go to the domestic league, that's the French League 1. He made 25 appearances, scored 4 goals, and provided 6 assists. That's a 10-goal involvement. So that's a combined 19-goal involvement. And he did not stop at that, because in the trophies, they also won the trophy, the champs. Then also the one is called what? There's another French Cup that they did play. He also won the UEFA Super Cup. So last season he reached the finals of the FIFA Club World Cup. But he did not win it. Of course, he went to Chelsea, but won the UEFA Champions League, won the French League title. He won the trophy, the champs. He won the UEFA Super Cup, and the other is called what? The French Cup, something like that. So every little piece of silverware that there was for him to win, he did win last season. And I mean, yes, Mohamed Salah had the best season arguably as a Liverpool player you could ever have in terms of goal scored and assists provided in the Premier League and in the Champions League, of course, but because in the Champions League they bow out quite quickly at the round of 16 at the hands of Archraf Hakimi's PSG. I mean, the writing was on the wall that he was always going to be the winner for this, and it's well deserved. Victor Osimhen equally did well. We saw the numbers he posted with Galatasaray. I think he had about 26 goals. He had a 29-goal involvement in 31 league games, among other things. So really, what he did was equally brilliant. But Archraf Hakimi just had that edge over them, and it's a well-deserved accolade for him. He takes the accolade of Ademola Lookman, who won it in 2024. Remember, in 2024, Ademola Lookman had inspired Atlanta, scoring the hat-trick in the finals of the UEFA Europa League when they beat up against Bayer Leverkusen. He scored a hat-trick in that final as Gianpiero Gasperini guided Atlanta to the triumph of the UEFA Europa League. So that season he had a stellar season, so he ended up winning the African Player of the Year. At the time he had been nominated with then Brighton in Simon Adingra, who has since joined Sunderland. He was with the likes of Sahur Girassi, Borussia Dortmund. Archraf Hakimi was among the nominees, as well as South Africa's Rowan Williams. That's a goalkeeper who plays for Mamelodi Sundowns. So, I mean, Ademola Lookman was a deserved winner at that occasion. At least I thought to myself, or felt so. And tonight, again, another deserved winner in Archraf Hakimi does win the accolade. So, Um, so, so I think it's really, really well deserved for the Moroccan player, who is, by the way, at the moment out injured um, um, because of that injury that he suffered in PSG's 2-1 loss to Bayern Munich. You remember that dangerous tackle from behind by Luis Diaz. So he's out on the sidelines. So, but that notwithstanding, he was there to collect his award. Uh, uh, he was not. He was not. He was not there to. He was there to collect his award, but you know, apologies. Apologies. Was just checking out on something. Uh, So, anyways, in the other winners or victors of the night, anyways, so the accolade, maybe before we go to the other winners, some of the players that have won it the most times was, I think, Samuel Eto'o of Cameroon and Yaya Toure. They both won it on 4 occasions. Samuel Eto'o won it in 2003, 2004, 2005, and in 2010. Then in 2010, remember he was at Inter Milan. They won the domestic treble. Okay, not the domestic treble, but they won the UEFA Champions League. They won the Scudetto. They also won the Italian Cup under Jose Mourinho. For those of you that do remember, 2010, before Mourinho makes a switch to go to Real Madrid, I remember that Inter Milan side that had Samuel Walters, Maicon, Zanetti, Cambiaso, Diego Milito, the Brazilian goalkeeper, he was called, his name eludes me. But yeah, and then you have Samuel Eto'o, Yaya Toure, also won it on 4 different occasions in 2011, 2012, 2013, and 2014. So he won it for 4 consecutive years, the first ever player to do that. Samuel Eto'o had won it for 3 consecutive years. But those are some of the most winners. You have other players that have won it twice. Mohamed Salah has won it twice, 2017 and 2018. Hi, how are you doing? Helena Slays. Hi, Helena Slays. How are you doing? Thank you for joining the broadcast. It's a pleasure to have you on the podcast. Kindly like the podcast, but also consider subscribing to the channel if you're new here. So, some of the other players that have also won it, like I said, Mohamed Salah has won it twice, 2017 and 2018. Sadio Mane of Senegal in 2019 and in 2022. Then Didier Drogba from Cote d'Ivoire in 2006 and in 2009. Remember, in 2009 they won. In 2006 they won the Premier League title under Jose Mourinho. That was his second consecutive league title with Chelsea. Then in 2009, he did not win the league title because Man United won that, but in the subsequent year, 2010, is when he won the league title under Carlo Ancelotti. Then El Hadji Diouf of Senegal has also won it twice in 2001 and 2002. Then you have to go back to the 90s when Nwankwo Kanu, you remember him at Arsenal, he won it in 1996 and in 1999. So, and then when you look at other players that have won it, Victor Osimhen won it in 2023. Like I said, Ademola Lookman in 2024. Riyad Mahrez in 2016 was part of that. Leicester City team that won the league title in quite spectacular style. Charles says hello, Charles. Charles Top 56. Hi, how are you doing, my brother? Why are you joining us from Charles? Do let me know down in the comment section. So then you remember in 2015, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, and then was still at Borussia Dortmund. He also won it. George Opong Weah in 1995. The only African player to win the Ballon d'Or, of course, in the same year. That was 1995. Then Abedi Pele from Ghana in 1992. So you have Samoas that have won it. Then when it comes to the women's game, there's a player called a Nigerian player. There's a player called Asisat Ochola, who won it 6 consecutive times. 24, sorry, not consecutive times, but at least on 6 different occasions in 2014, 2016, 2017, 2019, 2022, and 2023. Hi, Pedri. How are you doing, my brother? Good to have you on the broadcast. I'm so excited for tomorrow's World Cup playoff draws. Let's wait and see those draws. We know that some of the coefficients in terms of rankings, some teams are above others, but we'll wait to see. Then European and intercontinental playoffs, again, we wait to see what those will look like and when they will be played as well. Because like I said, the draws for the World Cup will be conducted on the 15th of December in Washington, D.C. So we look forward to the World Cup draws as well to determine how teams will be set. Anyways, so those are some of the previous winners as far as the CAF accolade goes in as far as the CAF awards go. So congratulations Archraf Hakim, congratulations Team PSG, congratulations Team Morocco. I think Morocco have been one of the most successful teams on the night in terms of taking away pieces of silverware. Then Cape Verde's head coach, that is Bobista. Yes, Bobista has been named the 2025 Men's Coach of the Year. So congratulations to him. Then in terms of like I said, a Ugandan collected an award as the best female referee. That's our very own Shamim Nawada. So congratulations to you, Shamim Nawada, on being crowned the best female referee of the year. I expect to see her at the Africa Cup of Nations in December, that will be hosted in Morocco, kicking off on December the 21st until late January. So keep tabs on her. She's a very, very good referee, very cool-headed lady there in terms of officiating the game. She's one of those that are very uncompromising and stands her ground, even though she's often officiating in the men's game. It can be daunting. It can be daunting, really, really, to officiate in the men's game. But yeah, I think she's done really, really well. Then also, Morocco's goalkeeper Yassine Bono has also walked away with the goalkeeper, accolade of the year. Congratulations, Yassine Bono. I mean, it's well deserved. For those of you that do remember him in the Club World Cup, I think Al Hilal's game, he plays for Al Hilal. Remember that 4-3 victory for Al Hilal against Manchester City. He was very, very good in that game. So really, another well-deserved winner. I'm not saying that game in itself justifies him winning the entirety of the accolade, but he's been a very, very decent goalkeeper. Again, maybe some of you will remember him for his exploits at the FIFA World Cup 2022 over in Qatar. You remember when Morocco became the first team to reach the semi-finals of the World Cup. So congratulations, Yassine Bono. Like I said, Archraf Hakim is out injured, and he had to limp to the stage, to collect his accolade. And I'm sure his mom is very, very happy for him, excited. His teammates, and everything to do with that. So then Chebak was also voted the Women's Player of the Year. Chebak, he's a captain, he's a leader. She's also a Moroccan, like I said. Moroccans seem to have swept many of these accolades, but congratulations to all those winners. Of course, there are so many other categories, Women's Player of the Year, things like that. But I mean, congratulations to all the winners. Well deserved. You deserve everything. And then the Nigerian women's team, like I said, was voted the women's team of the year. Congratulations, Team Nigeria, as well. Then Nandozi, I think she's won the Women's Player of the Year award as well for the CAF awards. But congratulations to all the winners. No, not the women's player, but the goalkeeper. Yes, Nandozi, the Women's Goalkeeper of the Year award. She won that award. So congratulations to all the winners. Congratulations, Coach Bubista, Yasin Bono, and every other winner of the night. So that's that. Anyways, quickly away from that. Anyways. Sorry, I'm laughing at some things here. Like I told you, I filter the content before I give you an update, especially when an update comes to me in the context or in the work of a broadcast. But yeah, we are waiting for the World Cup playoffs. We know many teams that have qualified directly, and we await to see when those will be played and how the draws will look like for the playoffs. But we know that Ukraine, Poland, Wales, Czech Republic, Slovakia, Kosovo, Ireland, Albania, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Romania, Sweden, Northern Ireland, and North Macedonia as those that will be in the playoffs for the European continent. Then, of course, we've already watched ours or seen ours in as far as the African continent is concerned. And somebody says, Football Royale says, Mr. Tribe, how are you? I'm good, my brother. How are you doing yourself? Good to have you on the podcast. Thank you. Kindly like the podcast, but also consider, you already subscribed. I don't need to make that call for you. But like I said, when it comes to other confederations, we know for a fact that, DRC Congo made it out from Africa, having knocked out Nigeria 4-3 on post-match penalties that preceded the 1-1 draw. We know that Iraq did make it out of Asia, in as regards to the continental federations. We know that CONCACAF, that's North and Central America, Jamaica are representing in that regard. Are you excited? The Premier League is back this week. Obviously, always excited for club football to return. Always. For me, I've already said this. When it comes to international team football, for as long as it's not a major tournament like the AFCON, like we had CHAN, like the World Cup, like the Euros, really, I'm not overly excited about international breaks unless it's for major tournaments like those. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the resumption of the Premier League and other leagues across Europe. So I do look forward to that. These World Cup qualifiers were you say these World Cup qualifiers were killing me every 2 weeks. Not every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, you could say, or 4, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, I understand. Coming, especially for me, I've never understood why a season begins and then just 3 or 2 weeks in, depending on what league you're playing in, suddenly you're going for the international break. I've never understood that concept. I'm always wondering, why don't they play this that international break that comes very early on in the season, immediately after the previous season? Because usually the season ends within late May, early June. As soon as the seasons break off officially and we're done with the UEFA Champions League, let them go and play that. Let them go and play some of those games. Now, I understand that for Europe, that the UEFA Nations League was on, so maybe that could forbid that. But still, they could have still played because there were only four teams that were playing in the UEFA Nations League because we were at the semi-finals. Spain, France, and then the other game was Portugal and what? I'm forgetting Portugal against who else. So I'm always thinking to myself, did you see Gabriel got injured against Senegal? Yes, I've seen that, and the speculation has it that he will be out for a bare minimum of a month to 2 months, depending. But of course, further scans are waiting to be done to find out the extent of that injury. So, fingers crossed. Then we spoke about Victor Gyökeres is the doubt for the weekend, but we'll get into that in a bit. Let's first wrap up with the World Cup playoffs. So, like I said, CONCACAF, that's North America and Central America. Jamaica, made it through. Also, Suriname was the other. Then in South America, that's the CONMEBOL or the CONMEBOL. For South America, Bolivia made it through. And then for Oceania, it is New Caledonia. So those are the teams that are going to be involved in the World Cup playoffs to determine the final slots. And the draw is tomorrow. The draws are set for tomorrow, so do not miss out on any of that. For those of you that are interested, like our colleague Pedri, he's really, really looking forward to that. Anyways, quickly, by extension, let's return to what the suggestions are there for. Okay, you're right. If they can do it for the AFCON, they could have done it for the Nations League as well. Exactly. But anyways, speaking of AFCON, like I said, December 21st, Africa Cup of Nations 2025 edition does kick off in Morocco. Morocco are the host nations. For the tournament. And after that, the 2027 edition will be hosted in East Africa by Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, should they meet all the requirements in terms of preparations towards the tournament. If things fail, then CAF may be forced to look elsewhere. But for now, that's what is expected to happen. And then the edition after that will be 2029. But anyways, so now that league football is getting back, of course, some players have come back with injuries. Eder Militao is one of those that got injured again. For those of you that do not remember, Eder Militao suffered a double ACL in quick succession, literally. Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Some managers are struggling to manage the load on players, because when you know these injury-prone players or players that are returning from very long-term injuries, you ought to use them cautiously. Now, for Gabriel, I have no qualms whatsoever. I do understand what happens with the Brazil national team. You miss one game, and then suddenly you could lose your spot, just like that. But I think he's done well enough over the years to solidify his slot within that space. Maximiliano Maximiliano says hi. Hi Maximiliano, how are you doing, my brother? Where are you joining us from? Are you a brother or a sister? Apologies if I misgrasped your gender. But quickly, to go back to some of our football royalist comments, you say you're right. Okay, you say Arsenal defense is still good without Gabriel. Yeah, it is still good without Gabriel, but look at Gabriel as how should I call it? It's like a vehicle in a rainy season. It can't still move without wipers, but you really need those wipers. I don't know if that's a comparison good enough, but Sleepy Bebe says hi. Hi Sleepy Bebe. Okay, very good. So for those of you that are just joining us, kindly like the podcast, but also if you're new here, kindly consider subscribing to the channel. Now, in the context of Arsenal's defense, of course they do have backups, but like I said, without Gabriel, they tend to suffer. One, he brings leadership qualities. He brings organization to that team in how they defend. The brain rots. He brings goal threat when they go for set piece plays. So there's a lot that he brings to that team. that many of his backups do not directly bring to the team. Now, in terms of their own defending, I think that is without question. And yesterday or the other day, we looked at them. We looked at Ricardo Carafiori, Piero Hincap, Christian Mosquera, Yurian Timber as 4 players that are really, really capable of fitting in that slot for Gabriel Magalhaes. It will be at the discretion of Mikel Arteta to decide whether it's Piero Hincap or Ricardo Carafiori or Christian Mosquera that takes the slot, Now, the disadvantage with this Gabriel injury is the timing of it and the kinds of fixtures that are coming up for Arsenal. Because you come from an international break, facing off with Tottenham Hotspur. For those of you that care to remember, you remember Arsenal's 1-0 victory against Tottenham Hotspur last season? Gabriel was the goal scorer. He was the goal scorer with that header. 2, up next after that is Bayern Munich. After that, you have a trip away to Chelsea. After that, you play at home against Brentford and Aston Villa. So those are very, very crucial, not just crucial games, but 3 of them are practically some of Arsenal's biggest games that they get to play throughout a campaign. So I cannot overstate what the importance or the significance of those very fixtures are. But the size of opponents clearly tells you that what they are. Then my other worry in regards to as well as they have solutions is we've not seen these partnerships before. We've seen William Saliba and Mosquera before, but we've not seen Saliba and Hincap. I do not think we've seen Carafiori and Saliba in a centre-back pairing long enough for us to say it can be a very good partnership. And I'm not saying it won't be a good one, but I'm saying that given the understanding that exists between William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes and all the qualities that we've mentioned that he does bring to the table, you sort of have to feel concerned that Gabriel Magalhaes will be. Apologies on that internet glitch, because they get to start with very, very difficult games that are physically demanding, games that are going to demand your speed, games that are going to demand the utmost level of concentration, games that are going to require one to be on their feet, on their top of their head in terms of thinking, and everything that comes with playing in that role. So we are waiting to see. But I gave you my reasons the other day, but just to recap on them. 1, Ricardo Carafiori, I think he's too adventurous going forward. He may cause you a bit of problems if he's played as a centre-back. It's not a bad thing, but can you tell me what is the brain rot? Unless it's related to football. He ventures so much forward. So for me, he will be a bit of a risk, a huge risk to take in that sort of role. Then Piero Hincap, like I said, very good defender. He has the speed, he has the physicality. But for those of you that watched him in that game against Brighton and Hove Albion, he took a bit of time to settle in that game. Both of them, they did play with Christian Mosquera. Then we saw him playing in the game against Slavia Praha. We saw him, losing some physical duels, getting sort of easily irritatable. And you know what happens in the North London derby? It's very fast, it's very fierce, it's physical, it's everything. You can surf the internet to advine this brain rot, to advine. I'll look into it. I'll look into it after this broadcast. I thank you so much, Maximilian. So then you look at then the other option, Yurian Timber. I think is cool-headed because if you play Yurian Timber up in centre back, then you have to play Ben White at right back, which is okay. If it's Christian Mosquera, like I said, I have zero qualms with him. He's only had one bad game, in my opinion. That was the first half against Newcastle, and he was withdrawn at halftime, and Saliba was brought back. Otherwise, all the other moments that we've seen him, he's looked really, really sharp and cool-headed. Of course, there are some moments where he's had an overconfidence, a moment, or a lapse of concentration and conceded possession, but overall, he's been really, really good. So all the options are there for Arsenal to decide who they get to play in that role. So really, that's all I can say about that. So very, very, very important stuff in that regard, in as far as the Ghanaians are concerned. But like I said, guys, let me see, brain rot. Okay. So, anyways, like I told you guys, we won't keep this one too long because of power and internet issues. I'm sort of oh wow. Okay. Anyways, thank you so much, Maximilian. Thank you, Football Royal. Thank you, um, thank you, Pedri. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Helena. Thank you, LFC, and every single one of you that has been part of tonight's broadcast. I do not take your time and support for granted. Maximilian, I've seen your the brain rot. You know, in regards to do with excessive exposure to low quality, repetitive, and highly stimulating digital content, something to do with that. But thank you so much for bringing that to my know. I did not know that really. So, but thank you so much for being part of tonight's broadcast. Allow me to wish you a blessed night. And let's meet tomorrow at 9 a.m. Hopefully, internet will be much better tomorrow. It's been a pleasure doing this with you. Bye-bye. And stay blessed.